Yes, let's do it. All right, so I will get out of this.
So our next product we're going to talk about is BTY. That is our beauty product. I think just about everybody knows that beauty comes from the inside out. And when you put a product like this inside your body every day, it's definitely going to affect what happens on the outside. So I can't wait to hear, Mary Esther, everything you have to say about this incredible product.
Okay, yeah, this one, like I said, it's the newer product that, when I summarized this one, it was a lot less information. I just kind of read through, all of that scientific data, and I picked out the thing that was the most associated with the name of the product, right? So BTY, beauty or attractiveness, and everything that makes a person more attractive. And to me, from what I've seen over the years, is that when a person gets their health act together and they are doing all the right things and they're well nourished and they're exercising and they're managing their stress. I mean, this is just this whole health person profile, right? And the foundation to it all is highly nourished cellular nourishment. So, so this is what I did. I just went ahead and took all that information for each botanical and I summarized it just so that it would be for the BTY name of the product. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
All right. Okay, so this is the BTY product. The aloe vera, they use the gel of the fresh leaves. It activates the self-cleaning systems of the body. It will go through and it will activate the self-detoxification that the body knows how to do if it has the right stuff, if it has the right substances, the right biochemicals from these plants. So it really helps to go through and detoxify from all kinds of different pollutants and just toxins that accumulate in the body, toxic chemicals that we make from stress. So it will help clean out all the different systems of the body. It will improve your blood circulation. It helps clean the blood vessels right down to your tiny capillaries. So we've got these huge, arteries or blood vessels right up here. And then as we progress down through all of down to our fingers and down to our toes, through all of the different organs and all the different systems, then it ends up in these little tiny capillaries, and we've got miles and miles of these capillaries. So if you were to injure yourself, if you cut yourself, then you start bleeding, it's these tiny capillaries that are damaged, right? So the body knows how to clean it up and eliminate those blood clots when it's healed. And so it also helps improve your circulation. So anytime you improve your circulation, your skin's going to look great. When I go out running, I always come back and think, okay, that was my beauty treatment, because I could feel the blood circulation right down to the tiny capillaries. And, I always feel like, gosh, I look so healthy, after I run. And it's always feeling, looking flushed and blushed, kind of thing. So this is what aloe does for you. It improves your circulation and it removes all the obstructions and all the toxins. It's also an antibacterial, antifungal. It protects your immune system in so many ways. Again, like I've just grossly summarized this, and I did this, Tina, for time's sake, because as you saw with the ALT, that was something that I did for other groups in APL, and they were long. They were long sessions. So this is what I did for this one. It's an anti-inflammatory, all these different phytochemical nutrients that will help the body reduce its own inflammation, or it will act directly. They also contain secondary metabolites that, which mean that they act on their own. So these plant chemicals act on their own to either destroy the microbial, invasions, or to help clean out the system, do all the different repairs. So it doesn't always, we don't always need to do everything ourselves within our own body systems automatically. So it will accept these different molecules that act on their own on our behalf, kind of thing. So those are called secondary metabolites. So it's great for ulcers and burns, and it improves any kind of skin abnormality. And they were discussing things like eczema, psoriasis, and all kinds of other skin eruptions that might be caused by either parasitic infections or other types of problems that would cause skin problems. So the aloe leaf is very effective for a variety of things in these general ways. So the apple, and again, I think of Chase because he was impressed by when I was talking about the banana. Well, Chase, the apple is another everyday food that we eat, and we never thought that it would be such a superfood, right? But when I did the scientific research in it, then I noticed so much research about the apple. So it has a ton of different types of what are called organic acids that act as antioxidants and anti-inflammatories, and they actually help regulate fat metabolism. They contain a substance called pectin, which will prevent the hardening of the arteries and dissolve the plaques that form inside the blood vessels, things like that, and help your body regulate cholesterol. Cholesterol is actually something the body manufactures itself. It's needed for the brain health, the nervous system functioning, and it's a precursor for all kinds of hormones that we produce in the body. So, but it's if you have too much of a good thing, then it's going to cause a whole chain reaction, a whole cascade of problems, right? So you can't have too many animal fats, so you don't want to upset your balance of cholesterol. If you take zero cholesterol in, your body's just going to make it. It's going to produce it. That's how necessary it is. So don't be too afraid of cholesterol. Just make sure you balance everything, all your nutrients and the right types of foods, and exercise, and then your cholesterol will be fine. Okay, so apple also protects the functioning of the pituitary, and that's the master gland in the brain. And that regulates all of the other glands that are all over the body in the brain and in the various types of endocrine glands, like the reproductive glands and the glands that are on the neck there, and all over the body, everywhere you have different glands. So the apple is great for helping the functioning of these different types of glands in your body that produce the hormones. It contains phytonutrient called tannin that I mentioned earlier, and of course vitamins and minerals, and they all together synergistically have a calming effect on the nervous system, and they protect the heart functioning. So it also improves the intestinal tract, because not only does it prevent diarrhea, or helps soften your stool so that you're not constipated, but it also will destroy the microorganisms that cause problems in the intestines. So, it does a lot of different things. So, like I said, it's a summarization, but, any kind of abnormalities that occur in your colon environment have to be addressed. So you don't want a lot of anaerobic illness-causing bacteria forming in your colon. You want to have the beneficial bacteria, the aerobic bacteria, the oxygen-loving bacteria that are actually very beneficial and very normal, that have to be in there. So all the way through the whole intestinal tract, whether it's the stomach, all the way to the intestines, and all the way out the door, you want apple to maintain your health in your digestive system. So it also is linked with a reduced risk of different health conditions like heart disease and diabetes, and all the common conditions that are so preventable but are so common in our population today. So an apple a day really does help, So artichoke leaf, it improves the overall metabolism. So in other words, how efficiently does your body break down nutrients and utilize them and uses them for energy or cellular repair, just to regenerate your cells and start and stop all these different trillions of biochemical processes that occur that keep us alive, and the regulating and monitoring systems of the hormone and nervous system. All those things have to come together. So that's what metabolism is. How efficient does all that occur? So artichoke leaf improves all of it, and it helps attenuate the blood sugar and cholesterol level. So if you need more blood sugar, then it will help your body understand that it needs to produce more blood sugar, or infuse more blood sugar into the bloodstream, or take it out of the bloodstream when there's too much blood sugar in there after a meal, things like that. So the artichoke leaf is a good regulator. It improves fat and overall digestion. So it helps you metabolize fats more properly, to utilize them for energy and direct those fatty acids to repair, do the repair work and form the hormonal systems that drives our health. So it also normalizes the central nervous system. And so your central nervous system is important to respond correctly and appropriately, rather than overreact to stress or allow stress to rule your life, to ruin your day kind of thing. So it helps your nervous system stay calm so that you can think more rationally and evaluate things more objectively and make better choices, and helps with interactions with people, things like that. So the nervous system has to function properly. So the nutrient factors in the artichoke leaf actually help normalize these processes. So as you can see, all these different botanicals have a vast array of different phytonutrients that address the needs of all of the different things that the body does to keep you healthy and alive. So it also contains phytonutrient factors that protect and improve the liver, the functioning of the liver. Helps it detoxify and cleanse. The liver is the detoxification organ. So anytime you take in toxins, they are stored in the liver. And sometimes a lot of these environmental toxins are synthetics, and they're fat-like. Their molecular structures are similar to fats. So the body, tries to break them down. If it can't, it tries to eliminate them. And if it can't, it has to store it somewhere. Usually it's in fatty tissues. And so And so it ends up in the liver because there's a lot of fat naturally in the liver. So it helps your body and your liver detoxify and cleanse and bind to toxic chemicals so that your body can eliminate these chemicals. So by eliminating all these toxins, which the skin is an eliminative organ as well. So if your body's trying to detoxify and you've got some skin problems, then chances are your body's trying to eliminate something. So this will help also improve the condition of your skin, because it helps eliminate these toxins. So ashwagandha root, this has been used dating back 6,000 years BC. It is part of the India system, healing system known as Ayurveda. It's been known to remove boils and improve the skin, and flatulence, and it strengthens the immune system. So it helps the immune cells function more intelligently. And the phytosterols, all these different hormone-like precursors, so that your body can have its pick and a choice of the different types of hormones that it needs to make. So the more phytosterols and the more fatty acids and plant sterols that are in these botanicals, the more choices your body has to form all these tens of thousands of hormones that we must produce every day. So the ashwagandha, also the phytonutrients, help stabilize the body's physiological processes. So all these different processes in every body system. It contains the phytochemicals that are attributed to stress reduction effects. So all these different stress chemicals your body produces, inflammatory responses, then it helps to stabilize all of that. So it's an anti-inflammatory and anti-arthritic, and it improves energy levels by boosting the functioning of the cell mitochondria. This is the powerhouse energy producing factories, the organelle called the mitochondria that is inside the cell, inside the plant cell, inside our body's cells. And these are the centers for production of energy. So it will actually improve the production of the energy levels inside the mitochondria in our cells. So it also helps control uterine fibroids. So it has an anti-tumoral, anti-inflammatory compounds in it. And it also has compounds that improve and protect brain function. And we're talking about cognitive function, learning, memory, things like that. So ashwagandha has much more information in the book that I took this out of. So the avocado, love avocados. I could do the whole one every single day, but they have beneficial phytonutrients and things like the essential fatty acids, all the types of different fatty acids, the omega-3s and the 6s and the 9s, or you can call them polyunsaturated, monounsaturated, saturated fats. There's omegas, you can just name them. These are all the same fatty acids, right? And so avocado has them all, So your body has this choice of this full array of all these different plant sterols and fatty acids for all the hormones your body could ever want to make. It also contains phytonutrients that help detoxify the liver, It improves the fatty acid or blood lipid concentrations in the blood and the cholesterol. So if you have a workup on your fatty acid and cholesterol, then it'll improve the values. So if you go in there with high cholesterol and high triglyceride levels and high lipid profiles, then the avocado will help normalize and reduce those numbers back to normal. There's other factors, of course, that affect the cholesterol and blood lipid levels. So again, a healthy lifestyle is very important. So, but if you're taking the drop with the idea to be more attractive, well, you're getting a lot of health benefits as far as your cholesterol goes as well. So cholesterol and fatty acids have a lot to do with great skin and functioning of the organs, and brain functioning, things like that. So you can be smart and attractive. Okay, so yes, heart healthy. So it helps lower the risk of that metabolic syndrome that I mentioned earlier. So helps reduce the body. It helps prevent the body from storing fats as readily. So it helps reduce the metabolic syndrome, which results from obesity. It contains an antioxidant phytonutrient known as lutein, and you might have heard that being bandied around in the nutritional supplements industry. So it's important for brain functioning and maintaining good eyesight. And there's a whole bunch of information in the book about this. It improves memory and focus and problem solving. Again, those fatty acids and those plant sterols, those are so important for proper functioning of the brain and the nervous system. So the German chamomile is an anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial that relaxes the nervous system. It improves the cardiovascular health. It has the also emoliating properties, which is it makes your skin soft, and it makes your cells flexible and strong. And so if your cells are flexible and strong, then you're going to have great skin. If your microcirculatory system is unobstructed and you're receiving oxygenation and nutrients, then you're going to have beautiful skin, and it's going to prolong the aging process. So it's also used traditionally for colds. It helps improve the immune functions. It helps to regulate and balance the menstrual cycle. So all those different types of fatty acids and plant sterols will help balance the menstrual cycle, since your body will recognize what it needs and utilize it for that end. It's an antispasmodic. It relieves menstrual cramps. It helps the liver and gallbladder functions for metabolizing and digesting fats. So it's all about the fats, and the chamomile is one of the king or queens to help your body deal with this. So it also heals damage to the skin. So if you're sunburned or you have some kind of problems with the skin, then the chamomile contains the phytonutrients that will repair the damage and restore your cells to proper functioning. It contains the classification called flavonoids that help maintain collagen, and that's a protein substance that supports the cell structures as well. And that, if you have good cell structures at the micro level, you're going to have more youthful looking skin at the macro level. So the dandelion root improves the functioning of the detoxification of the kidneys, the liver, and it prevents the formation of gallstones. Again, it's the fat metabolism we're talking about here. People who eat the wrong types of fats will start forming those little black gallstones that can be very painful, just like the kidney stones. Antispasmodic, antiviral, antimicrobial. It helps modulate the inflammatory and immune response. So there's a lot of phytochemicals, a lot of biochemistry going on in the dandelion root that will help your body understand what to do about inflammation and whether to destroy something that doesn't belong in your body or not, And it also will help the pancreas, which is the insulin and glucagon produces those hormones that help regulate blood sugar. If your blood sugar levels are too low, your pancreas will produce the glucagon and help infuse more blood sugar into the bloodstream. So if you're feeling dizzy or sleepy or run down and tired, then chances are your blood sugar levels you must examine, when was the last time you had any kind of a meal. So, or it will take out excess blood by producing the insulin and uptake that and put that back into your cells so that it'll help produce energy and utilize the glucose blood sugar. It improves the beneficial bacteria in the lower intestine, another thing that improves your colon health. Ginseng, Siberian root. So this type of ginseng, it's been used by the Chinese for over 2,000 years. At least that's the earliest documentation. Maybe it goes back even farther. But studies show that it's a potent antioxidant and it inhibits certain inflammation responses. And the phytochemical compounds called eleuterosides, they help maintain healthy tissues of the various organs. And they help improve the energy production and the physical performance and stamina in high intensity exercise. So it's great for athletic performance. It's great for life performance if you need stamina, if you want to improve your concentration and maintain your energy levels. Then ginseng has those compounds that help your cells generate more energy at the cellular level so that your overall body is more energetic. It contains essential fatty acids and different types of resins. Resins are very beneficial too. They are antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and they have a whole array of health benefits as well. And it also contains plant sterols. So with all of these phytochemical, gold mine, it helps improve the brain activity and nerve-to-nerve communications. It also contains compounds that prevent the degenerative effects of stress. So your body produces stress chemicals, then these compounds will help restore the homeostasis, the equilibrium of your response to stress. So it'll return your system back to normal so that you can think more clearly, So grapeseed, I believe that was in the other formulation. So again, building healthy red blood cells for proper oxygenation and nutrient delivery, which is important for being attractive. You want to make sure that you're well nourished and your cells are well oxygenated. And so it delivers to all systems in the body, all the different organs, structures, and things like that. Helps strengthen blood vessels and capillary walls. So again, it has all the different types of essential fatty acids and the flavonoids, and it improves the cholesterol values. It improves immune cell functions. And again, there's that 40 times more effective than vitamin C. Okay, so you want to reduce all these different free radicals in the body. And again, it contains the resveratrol, which is the antioxidant phytochemical that normalizes estrogen levels. And resveratrol does a heck of a lot of other things. I could show you in the phytonutrient database what resveratrol does. It's found in many different types of foods as well. So green tea leaf, it has a high concentration of antioxidant catechins. It's more, I think this was in the other formulation too. So why don't I go ahead and skip that, Tina? That way, we can go on, because this is a huge formulation. It has many, it's like the BRN and the MLS. These three have a lot of botanicals. So I'm going to go ahead and skip over to the lemon. So lemon, the rind itself, and the type of fiber and the flavonoids and even the pulp and the juice, everything about the lemon is completely edible. And it has varying degrees of different types of phytonutrients and concentrations of phytonutrients. So I'm just going to go over it briefly here. For the one thing it does is it reduces high cholesterol, and it will help narrow, it will improve the narrowing and hardening of the arteries. So if your arteries are forming plaques and the circulation is being obstructed or impeded, it will remove the narrowing and hardening of those arteries. It also has been found to improve blood flow to the heart and strengthen the pliability of blood vessels. And these are the flavonoids that are present in the rind and the structures that hold, the whole lemon together. And it helps the utilization of calcium and other minerals. So because it has vitamin C and other flavonoids, then it allows your body to utilize calcium and the other minerals so that you have stronger bones, you have more neurotransmission from nerve to nerve communications and muscular contractions, all kinds of other things that minerals do. They aid in so many other biological processes. It contributes to proper blood pressure, and it's an anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and again, it helps you metabolize your fats and your sugars. So it's also an antifungal. licorice root, it's used in traditional Chinese medicine. That dates back to 2100 BC. An antioxidant, antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal. And it helps the immune system. It helps modulate the immune system so it can know when to react and when not to react or overreact. It improves the resistance to infectious diseases through its antimicrobial properties. It's an anti-inflammatory and assists in the immune system. It helps control blood sugar for preventing or regulating against diabetes. So magnolia vine fruit, well, it's known in traditional Chinese medicine and modern Chinese medicine. It helps with the gastrointestinal problems, respiratory problems, any kind of heart and blood vessel conditions, and it will help your body produce energy more efficiently. So it has been used for weakness and fatigue. And it contains, see, I couldn't help but put in some of these amazing compounds that this particular plant has. In Chinese, the magnolia vine fruit is known as the schizandra, and it's used so often in Chinese formulations. And so that's because of these different types of lignans that it contains. So, and they're always being discovered more and more as people examine different types of botanicals. So lignans are pretty common in many botanicals, but a lot of interest in the magnolia vine in the scientific community. So it's been known to serve a wide range of biological activities, you know, in the defense system, in the body, the immune system. And it destroys pathogenic or illness-causing fungi and bacteria, and to improve all these different poor lifestyle choices that lead to diseases like type 2 diabetes and all these different cancers that form for one reason or another. Anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, protects the liver, and it also helps prevent the dissolving of minerals out of the bone, so it prevents osteoporosis. And it contains a group of biologically active compounds called triterpenoids. These are a huge classification of different types of compounds found in various plants. And so let's see, we're doing the magnolia, yes. Okay, so it's been found to induce cancer cell self-destruction, the apoptosis, reduce inflammation responses, removes toxins stored in the liver, and it normalizes the liver enzyme production. Sometimes there's elevated liver enzymes, but this will help restore enzyme levels back to normal. And it also has been known to destroy viruses, inhibit the growth of bacteria. There it is again, the different types of very common illness, disease-causing bacteria like the strep, and also will destroy yeast of the Candida albicans. So all these different types of yeast growths in the body it will also destroy. So compounds known as essential oils are high in sesquiterpenes, and the monoterpenes, you know, these are all antioxidant, free radical neutralizing compounds. They're anti-carcinogenic, they're antimicrobial, antifungal, antibacterial. They contain all these different types of compounds, flavonoids, polyphenols. Again, in the book, it goes into what all of these phytonutrients do. And so this plant has all of these different compounds, as do the others as well. But I went into a little more detail on this, I realize. So it acts on the nervous system and the cardiovascular system, the central nervous system. So it's known to improve physical performance. And so it will also stimulate the brain, the cerebral cortex, not in the way that caffeine does, but also will improve the ability to concentrate and react, you know, like reflex reaction time and things like that. So it also stimulates respiratory functions. So any type of respiratory problem, it will help remove debris or remove scarring and all these different problems that occur in the respiratory system. It enhances vision acuity. So again, it's the microcirculation, right? So anytime you've got anything that assists with microcirculation, you're going to be beautiful on the inside and very functional on the inside as much as you are on the outside. So it also aids in lowering blood sugar levels, and it helps dilate peripheral blood vessels. So anytime you have a dilation event in the body, then it will increase blood flow. So sometimes when you're under stress, like the fight or flight syndrome, you've got to get out fast. And so your blood vessels dilate very, very much, very quickly, so that you get more nutrients, more oxygen, and more stress chemical responses. All that is infused all over the body, and your body can react much more efficiently that way. It's a long-time adaptogen, so it means that your body will be able to utilize it for all these different types of things. It boosts muscle strength and lung capacity, like I said, physical and mental performance. Okay, so the meadowsweet leaf, another anti-inflammatory, and gee, the BTY contains a lot of anti-inflammatories. Most of these plants in all of our formulations are great anti-inflammatories, but for a high concentration of anti-inflammatories, that tells you that a lot of the problems that people have for rapid aging and their appearance is because of all this inflammation that's going on in the body, whether it's from stress or the wrong types of foods or toxic chemicals or anything that you encounter. So many things cause inflammation in the body, so we're trying to always attenuate or reduce the inflammatory response. So the meadowsweet leaf has been known to help do that. So it's also an analgesic, an astringent, an antacid, and anti-ulcerogenic. An anti-ulcerogenic means that it'll destroy the bacteria that causes the ulcers. So it maintains the integrity of your stomach tissue lining. Anticoagulant, and it contains different compounds that are aspirin-like, called salicylic acid, all these different salicylate compounds. It's a mild urinary antiseptic, so it's helps with pain, and antimicrobial, so all these different types of microbes. It contains tannins, phenolic compounds that inhibit all these different types of free radicals, and again, pain-relieving salicylates that the body will convert to salicylic acid in the digestive tract. And so it's far gentler than synthetic aspirin, which is the acetyl salicylic acid. So the meadowsweet also has antioxidant polyphenols that protect your cells from damage and any kind of mutagenic effects. So it maintains the integrity of your DNA so that when your cells replicate, nothing will go wrong. You won't have any kind of mutagenic effects. It improves the body's energy production and all these different microbes it will destroy on its own. You put it in your body and it has all these different compounds that these anaerobic type of microbes cannot exist in that environment. So it'll donate electrons and help oxygenate and tell the immune system what to do, or to assist it if it needs it, kind of thing. So the body will use it or not use it. It's not like a drug will go in and take charge and change it, whether your immune system or other systems want to or not. Your body will recognize these molecules and use them as it sees fit. So that's what's great about food, and that's the difference. So it also helps regulate the immune response and helps regulate blood sugar. Milk thistle protects the liver, protects against inflammation and cell damage, stimulates liver tissue regeneration, restoring it back to normal, detoxifying the liver. It'll protect your skin against harmful ultraviolet radiation. So don't fall asleep under the heat lamp, or don't go out in the sun too much in the summer if your skin isn't used to it. It hasn't been acclimatized to it. So milk thistle is a good protector of the skin. It contains silymarin, and that protects the cell membranes and helps build new cells properly. It contains flavonoids and all the different types of bioflavonoids, subclassifications and their derivatives. And so it helps the body produce vitamin P, which are bioflavonoids. That helps build permeability and strengthen the capillaries that also keep your skin firm longer through the years. And it protects against destruction of collagen that's needed in repairing the body's tissues. So collagen is the protein that also is important for cell structure. Pomegranate, the Chinese use pomegranate seed to enhance male power and against a variety of infections and intestinal parasites. It helps prevent anemia, it helps relieve pain, it helps heal damaged skin and wounds, it's antibacterial, it helps prevent clogged heart vessels, prevent damaged arteries. It's shown to help prevent cancer and rapid aging. It protects memory and the nerve cells. It helps improve and maintain beneficial microbiota in the colon. So these are the aerobic, oxygen-loving microbes that belong in the colon. So again, I don't want to overemphasize this, but this is a great summary of all the detailed information that's in the book. So, this is just like a table of contents kind of thing of what the book has. So it goes into all these different points in much more detail. So then we've got the rowan berry. So let's see, it's got antioxidant phytochemicals, all the different phenolic compounds. And so I can read those. So it is also shown to inhibit the growth of the bacterium. These are opportunist bacteria. They invade your body and they take over. They cause fever and nausea and vomiting and diarrhea and all these different horrible symptoms. So it'll inhibit the growth of it. So these plant compounds have a lot of oxygen carrying and negatively charged ion electrons to neutralize a lot of the activities of these bacterium, and it often renders them unable to replicate, unable to function, and to self-destruct or to be destroyed directly from these different plant compounds. So rowan berry also has been shown to have a high correlation between its antioxidant capacity and the phenolics, and a significant correlation between the antioxidant activity and the phytochemical compounds that are known as flavonoids and hydroxycinnamic acids. So these are different organic acids. And it contains the antioxidant phytochemicals in the carotenoid group of compounds. And so carotenoids are a huge group of compounds found in most plants actually. And they're precursors so that your body can convert it to vitamin A as needed, rather than taking in a vitamin A supplement, which can build up in the liver and cause toxic problems. Then your body will use these carotenoids and convert it to vitamin A as needed. And if you take in too many over time, then it'll store it in your fatty tissues, which is very harmless. And but it'll turn your skin orange. So anytime that happened to me years ago, I was taking carotenoid capsules and eating tons of vegetables, and so my skin started turning orange. And people started asking me, "Are you sick? What's wrong with you?" So I realized that's what it was, and I just immediately cut out the carotenoid supplement, and my skin returned back to normal within a few days. So they're not toxic, but they can alter the color of your skin. If you eat too many of the carotenoids. It won't happen in the drugs because we're absorbing the DNA rather than a lot of the colorings, in the compounds. So see, carotenoid. So yeah, it contains a lot of carotenoids, and they're found to be high in things like carrots, and so has a lot of vitamin C, similar to the amounts of vitamin C found in strawberries. Other researchers have found the correlation between the phenolic content and the preventing of free radical activity in the body that leads to cell damage. So it acts as a scavenger of free radicals. And so again, things like reactive oxygen species and nitrogen species, all these different chemicals the body produces under stress, they will actually inhibit and neutralize all of these types of free radicals. More compounds it lists here. Again, there's a lot of compounds here. So what happened was I was reducing this, but it looks like I didn't finish it. I guess I must have gone on to something else. So I have to summarize as I go. So, so strawberry, the wild strawberry is different from the domestically grown strawberry. So I found that out when I did the research. That's why the scientific names are so important. You have to know that you're talking about the right plant. Just like there's different types of ginsengs, you have to know the scientific name in order to know the differences. So strawberry is one of the most common and effective medicinal plants. It's been around since ancient times. We've been eating strawberries for thousands of years. So it's been used in all these different concoctions and infusions over many centuries. So it has a lot of the trace elements of vitamins, the organic acids that are beneficial, and the right types of sugars, and it has wonderful dietary dietary fiber. So it's rich in all these different types of substances that the body can choose to do whatever it needs to do, right? In every body system, whether it's a detoxification or building a new molecule. So if it builds new proteins or has to break down proteins to repurpose to produce all the different body proteins, which are in the thousands as well. So strawberry has all these array of different types of nutrients that your body can utilize, as do the other plants, actually. So it's been known to prevent angina and other conditions of the cardiovascular system. So anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, anti-diabetes, anti-obesity, helps your body metabolize fat, protects the heart and the nerves. So it's antimicrobial and protects against the anti-metabolic syndrome that I mentioned earlier, having to do with obesity. So it will reduce the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Yes. So we've got, cholesterol protective properties and all these different phenolic flavonoids, anthocyanins, all these different nutrients. So we are, it will help reduce the high density lipoprotein cholesterol, the cholesterol that's less desirable, and decrease systolic blood pressure. So it helps you stabilize your blood pressure. Okay, so these are the different types of phytonutrients that are in strawberries. High in vitamin C. Actually contains the seeds, the little tiny seeds that we swallow in the strawberry are high in the omega-3 fatty acids, which are essential. Our bodies cannot produce these types of fatty acids. So they have a bunch of carotenoids, and free radical scavenging activity, and they help improve the blood glucose levels through helping to regulate the insulin production from the pancreas, when to utilize it. So they're great antioxidants, anti-inflammatories. They help reduce loss of cognitive function in the hippocampal neurogenesis through hippocampal neurogenesis, which is new nerve regeneration in the brain's hippocampus. And that's involved in learning, recalling of new information. And so, why not have an excellent functioning brain that go along with your good looks, for the BTY. So let's go on to turmeric. Turmeric is mispronounced all the time. Most people say turmeric, and it actually has an R in there. So you can impress people with your intimate knowledge of the turmeric root by first pronouncing it correctly. Okay, so it contains important groups of compounds called curcuminoids, and those are the key phytochemical compounds in the turmeric that help prevent stomach and liver problems. They help break down fats. They help prevent all kinds of adverse conditions that lead to diabetes, like pancreas and immune system malfunctioning. It helps improve skin conditions like acne. It supports strong bones and mobility in the joints. It helps reduce fats in the circulatory system. It improves heart circulation and protects against damaged heart tissues. It contains at least 10 antioxidants that protect the DNA against free radical damage from toxic chemicals, and it stimulates the immune system, improves brain function. Again, this is a summarization of all the things that turmeric has like 2.5 pages in the book, like ginger root does. And so this is a gross summarization of everything that this amazing plant does. So it's anti-allergenic, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, anti-everything. It helps to it's effective in the treatments of all kinds of different serious ailments, and which I list in the book. And so they're just too numerous to name here. All kinds of body systems and various types of ailments that occur in the different body systems. It's been shown to be very effective for restoring the body to normal. It's used for healing wounds. It'll purify the reproductive organs and the breast milk, and it purifies the semen, and it aids in digestion. So going on to the water hyssop, this is the last ingredient in the BTY. So it goes way back to antiquity. It can be traced back to the India and Australia's use, 800 BC. It's been demonstrated to improve cognitive performance, and that means reasoning, attention, memory, language, attainment and retention of new information, and increased choice reaction time. It delays the mental degenerating effects of aging. So, and it protects the liver. And so if you have a toxicity of the liver, then it will restore your liver, and it also helps reduces jaundice and other liver diseases and disorders of the spleen and digestion as well. So Tina, that wraps up the BTY.
Oh my gosh. Like, wow, I have so many notes. I can't even like feel my hand anymore. But I did have a couple of questions, and I think they're important. And I think a lot of people kind of have the same questions, which the first one is there enough of each of these ingredients? That's a lot of ingredients for a little drop the size of a penny. Is there enough of each of these ingredients to gain the major benefits that you just told us about?
Yeah, it's all about information at the DNA level, and our drops contain the DNA information that makes the entire plant. So all of the genetic instructions, our bodies, our cells will read those instructions and utilize those genetic codes. Everything happens at the DNA level. When you get right down to it, you're digesting all of these foods, and your body's extracting all these nutrients out of the foods, and reducing those molecules into these minute micro nutrient factors that will fit through the cell membrane, just to get those nutrient factors inside the cell where all of this work is being performed that keeps us alive. So the DNA of those plants has all of that genetic information that our bodies can use to do all the repair work, all the regenerative and replication, all those things that is done at the microcell level inside of our trillions of cells. It is why these drops are so effective. So all the information that creates this whole plant is there for our DNA to read and utilize. And that's what happens. That's how we stay alive. It's all going on at the microcell level. We don't see this at the macro level when we're shoveling down all this food, right? But that's what happens. It just gets reduced down to those minute micronutrient components.
Oh, that's excellent. Excellent answer. The next one was, how do we know that the formulations maintain the individual benefits of each of these botanicals alone?
Yes, the first they start out with the nutrient-rich soils. They're all organically grown, and the variation of companies that outsource their plant materials, you don't know what the environment was in which those plants were grown. But with our company, we have the Bara Herbs Company that oversee the production and growth and harvesting times. So they know when to harvest, when the plant materials are at their peak nutrient densities. So they take all of this into account before they even harvest the plant. So they're growing and nurturing and supporting the growth and development of these plants in nutrient-rich soil that are ecologically balanced soils, which produces the most nutrients in these kinds of plants. So that's where it all starts. It starts in how potent are these plants in the first place, and the environment. So then when they are harvested, they are carefully cut a certain way, and they're stored a certain way. They're careful with temperature and preserving the enzymes. So variations in temperature can affect the vitamin potencies in the plants and the enzymes in the plants. So that they're careful to preserve all these nutrient factors, and they flash freeze them, and then they carefully are transferred to the facility. So when they arrive at the facility, they're immediately transferred into the containers, the huge containers, and that's when they're exposed to all the different, like the simulation of an electrical storm to improve the antioxidant, value of the plants at the molecular and atomic levels. So they're infused with all these electrons. So they are ionically charged. So all the plant materials are preserved with their nutrients, and they're infused with extra electrons. So that's what makes them so unique.
Wow. And then at that point, that's when the DNA is extracted from the plants after they get the electrical charge from the I guess, centrifuge machine they call it.
Yes, it thins the cell membranes of the plant cell membranes, so that all of these inner components of the cells are released. So you've got the mitochondria, the endoplasmic reticulum, all these different types of organelles that maintain the health of the plant and the health and growth and reproduction and protections, the immune system of the plant, right? So all of those, all that information is available to our DNA.